everything high school golf around the conference and Masters Week for this week particularly. These podcast episodes will give you all the insight to what our golf team here at FC looks like. My name is Jackson Bingham, and let's get started with this podcast. For FC Golf News, the first segment, the Flash is tied 4 out of 17 against Roncalli in the Edinburgh Invite at Timbergate 2 weeks ago. Which, for people who don't know this, the blue team is varsity and the white team is also varsity because we're a full varsity squad. We just have a bottom five, or we have a top five, a middle five, and a bottom five because we have 3 teams which equal to 15 people. Varsity, for people that don't know, blue team will be traveling to Hickory Stick this weekend for the Trojan Classic, and we have to be at school by 7:30. Tournament starts at 10 a.m. For people who don't know, the white team will be traveling to Eagle Creek for the Cardinal Ritter Invite, and their shotgun start is at 8 a.m. They have to be at school 6:15 a.m. Around the conference, which is our next segment, Westfield Varsity will be traveling to the Trojan Classic. FC Golf, which is us, will travel also to the Trojan Classic. Brownsburg will be traveling to the CCI Invite or the Country Club of Indianapolis Invite. Avon will travel to Avon for a match which is at home, but they also already played in their match, which was yesterday. Fishers will be at Danville. Fishers will be at home for the Owl Invite. Zionsville will travel to the Danville Invite this week, and HSE will also travel to that same tournament as Zionsville. Noblesville will travel to Twin Lakes at Tippecanoe Country Club for that invite. Now, Westfield just placed second at state coming out of last year. They're coming off a hot start. I think they can run in contention of beating Center Grove at their own tournament at the Trojan Classic this weekend. We have contention of being one of those top 5 teams as we saw 2 weeks ago, but I think honestly we could just come back in and just show everybody up and get that top 5 spot, which we haven't done at tournaments accurately for a while. Like, we've always been like one of those bottom doorstep teams that everybody's just like, they're just going to place bottom again, and nobody really thinks much of us. But I think this year we have a whole better squad, and I think everybody like wants to come back in and join us, and it'll be a great year because then we can show everybody up and show them who we really are as that FC team that we once were back from the early 1990s to like mid 2000s. The early mid-2000s, of the like 2000s to 2010s. We were really a great team back then. I mean, there's not really much to talk about here in this around the conference segment, just because, I mean, it's just the conference. It's so early in the season. We don't know if there's early tensions, and honestly, tensions will rise when it comes to the conference matchups when we here in next month or next 3 weeks exactly, when we see the both conference matches or both conference tournaments take place. Then that's when we're gonna see tensions rise and see who's really the best in our conference. And I mean, there's eight teams in our conference, so we really could be that, like, because we have Zionsville, Brownsburg, Westfield, and Fishers. Honestly, I think we could be better than Fishers this year. Take out Avon too, and honestly come in as that 5-6 spot and leave Fishers and Avon at the bottom, while Zionsville, Westfield, Brownsburg, and HSE all take their and Noblesville all take up that the 1 through like 5 spot. So I think honestly we'll be I think we won't be that bottom team. I think it'll be Fishers or Avon this year, but that's just my perspective on everything. But as we get into Masters updates, all players went off 2 hours late yesterday. Every player that played in the 10:10 to like 2 o'clock start was able to get their round finished, and then from there, anywhere beyond that, maybe the 3 o'clock start got theirs done, but nobody else, like Tiger and his group and a couple other groups in front of him, did not get their rounds done. So they're finishing their rounds actually right now, um, which are taking place on the Masters app or on ESPN or Golf Channel. Um, but no, like they finished around. They blew the horn around 7:30 last night, which was weird because they said they weren't gonna sound it off until 8 or 8:30, and they were pushing everything early yesterday. I think just to make sure players had enough time to get enough rest and come back for in the morning. But I mean, honestly, that can be also a good and bad thing. But the good thing about it is that gives times for the greens crew to come out, get their job done, pull the flags off the course, put pins in different locations for today and tomorrow. But honestly, I think once these groups finish up their round today, the first group that needs to still finish their first round, I think it's going to be like one of those like hour breaks to where we're not going to see any player on the course because they have to change pin location, and they're going to have to get a couple, probably 6 guys out there to change pin location, which isn't hard. I mean, it doesn't take a while, but you at least need like 6 guys out there doing 3 holes at a time, so that way they can get out there and do their thing, and not push this thing back any further. We haven't had really much insight from the Masters, as well as they just went off 7:50 a.m. this morning. The players had a choice last night to either pick up when the horn sounded, to either pick up or play through that hole that they were on. And the group behind Tiger had picked up already, and they were just going to play where they left off in the morning, which is today. But Tiger's group ended up finishing their hole and walking back in. So honestly, it's just a big toss-up of how we're going to just see everything play out. The players, yeah, they start 7:50 a.m. today, and the groups that have to finish extra holes today will still have to play their extra 18 today. I mean, that's a normal thing that the PGA has done for a while. I mean, that's how you have to do it, because if you have a round pushed back, you have to play that round. You have to play the next round through. But I mean, that's happened. But now let's talk about more news with players and how press conferences went. So Tiger's press conference, as he said on Monday and before the week started, was that his right ankle that had been bothering him for a while, is now just healed up and everything is fine now. But he said that everything else, like his back, he said that could still be a little hurt and get a lot of pain. And he said that also, like, all the muscles from his right ankle up could start loading into the hip, which could cause some, like, irritation in the hip and back and not cause him to get as much power as he had. But honestly, as we look from past years with Tiger and his pain, like, he's played through a blew out knee. He's played with a broken ankle that he popped back into place. Like, Tiger is just that guy that does not really need to, like, quit through his pain, like, unlike other players do. But, like, players just that he's just built different, and he likes to play his game, and he likes to finish those rounds even if he's hurt, and then get that treatment after, and then have to sit out for those next couple matches. But honestly, he hasn't really done that much, besides with his one car crash from 2021 when he still couldn't play that much. But honestly, it's not bad. We saw Bryson DeChambeau shoot 7 under yesterday. That was a real surprising thing. I had DeChambeau. I want DeChambeau to win, but I didn't think he was going to do that well until I saw him come out with that 7 under yesterday, the 65. That was a really great round for him. If he can keep that momentum up through this weekend and through this tonight, that will give him a pretty, like, good lead if he can shoot that same score. Maybe even just go a 6 under today. Have a little bit of a worse round. Like, we don't want to see players have a little bit of a worse round, but I mean, it's pros. Like, we all have those bad rounds. So if he has that bad round today, he needs to have it today and not Saturday or Sunday when it really matters, because Sunday and Saturday is when players are starting to get their tensions rising, starting to show how where they are really in the tournament, and then that Sunday is everything's pretty much finalized. And if you haven't played good that week, then you're probably not going to place well um, on Sunday. But honestly, it's the Masters. And there's professional golf, so a whole unnamed player could just come out of nowhere and just come shoot a really nice lights out score and take the competition away from everybody and show them what's done. As we look at standings right now, Scheffler is in 17th place, or is in he's in second place with a 6 under. DeChambeau's still in that top spot with a 7 under. Tees off later today. So does Scheffler. And we look at, there's like 4 guys in that 17th spot with a 1 under. So those guys like Tiger and a lot of other guys that can shoot that, I think that'll be good for the Masters this week. And we have McIlroy, Hovland, Smith, Batia, Woods, all in that one even to 1 under spot. So, and I mean, as we look at Schauffele, he might be in 30th place. He came up 10 places already. He was 1 over yesterday. He was in 40th. He already came up those 10 spots. I mean, there's not really that much like first, second, third right now. There's more of that first, second, and then it goes down to like the 15 range. And honestly, it's anyone's game right now, besides DeChambeau and Scheffler just going at it with each other for that 7 and 6 under right now. And I think Scheffler and DeChambeau will just keep going at it this whole day and see who can compete for that top spot. I really want to see McIlroy come out of where he is so he can finish a career Grand Slam of getting all 4 majors. And this major is the only one that he needs because he has all the other 3. He has the U.S. Open. He has the PGA Championship. He has the other one. And honestly, if we can just see him do that, I think he'll be in great spots for the end. And then, Ricky Fowler also shot the 5 under at the par 3 contest, and nobody in the par 3 contest history has ever done that before. But the bell is just rang. That is the end of this first episode. My name is Jackson Bingham with FC Golf. I'm out.